Kevin Jousset back in action after a little bit of a yes, yes, no sort of fight happened last time. You know, you were ready to go. Night before, the fight doesn't happen. This time it's looking very good that you're actually going to get back in the cage. Fighting on the Shuriken card this weekend, Saturday night. Can you just tell me a little bit about how this particular fight came together? You're against James Craughwell, who anyone who's watched him fight knows he fights bigger guys. You're a welterweight, probably fighting what? High middleweight to light heavyweight this weekend?
Yeah, we found an agreement to fight at 90 kilos, which is close to light heavyweight. Usually I fight at 77 kilos, so a bit of a difference, but I believe I'm a big welterweight anyway, and I usually go quite well against big guys. So I like the challenge. That's actually quite exciting, you know. So we just struggled to find some guys my weight to fight. And then when they offered me this guy, I was like, this is cool, let's do it. So, yeah.
So were you always looking at this card and just trying to find another welterweight? Or was it a case of you're trying to find another fight and this one just came along on this card?
So after my last opponent pulled out in September, like Jason, the promoter of Shuriken, told me, we'll try to get you on the next card for this one, December 10th, and we tried to find some welterweights and middleweights. Many names, like we literally sent many names and tried to find them, but it didn't work out. Even some guys from Australia, and we tried to fly over. And then eventually we knew that this guy is gonna fight anyone as well, so it was just perfect timing.
Your teammate Brogan Anderson was supposed to fight on this card. Were you worried that he might steal your opponent when his opponent pulled out?
No. I'm actually disappointed for him that he's not fighting, obviously. It would have been great to fight on the same cards, but like, that's okay. We're cool. I know he wouldn't do that to me. But who knows, maybe we'll fight him later on, or maybe, I don't know. I just hope he's gonna fight again soon. Brogan would be good for him too.
And how good will it be for you to get back in the cage and, I guess, right those wrongs from the Caleb Rideout fight?
Oh man, it's gonna feel good. Like my last fight, as you said, was in July. So it was like almost 6 months ago now. And I've literally been trying to fight since July. Literally what happened is when I last fought in July, on the same night, left the cage, took my phone and texted Jason, I need to fight on the next show, and he was like, cool bro, I'll match you. So that was on September 1. It ended up not working out, and at this time, like, I know, like, he found me this guy, which we know he's not gonna pull out. So it's gonna feel good to get back to it and finally, like, show my improvements and everything. So definitely looking forward to it.
He's fought a few guys from City Kickboxing already, like I mentioned, Navajo Sterling last time out. What do you know about James Craughwell, and what are you expecting from him?
Well, I know he's a pretty good kickboxer, good striker, a big guy, obviously. I've seen his last fight. I was there when he fought Navajo. That was a good fight to watch. And I know what I need to know. I know he's a good striker, and I know what I can do myself, and that's enough. That's all I need to know.
Like you mentioned, you haven't fought since July. What have you been doing to keep yourself occupied?
I always train. Fight or no fight, I literally always train. I just love training anyway. Plus, we were trying to get someone to fight. So I've been in camp since my last fight, literally. Like even after September, when I was getting ready, I was supposed to go on holidays right after, and I told you I'm not going. I just stay ready. Instead, we find someone early October or November, and it ends up being the last show of the year. So I just stayed ready, kept training.
Where were you going on holiday, or were you just taking a break?
I was going to South Island for the first time, but I still haven't been. I'll probably go later next year or something, we'll see.
Fair enough. I mean, I know a lot of people who live in New Zealand their whole lives haven't been to the South Island. So.
Yeah, I know, right? I've been to Kaparenga all the way to the north already, and did most of North Island, but I've heard many good things about South Island, so I need to go eventually.
You were over in New York for UFC 281. first of all, how was that experience being in the house out in Jersey with the boys?
Yeah, it was incredible. It's always great to spend some time with them and see how it works with the UFC and everything, you know. And always inspiring to see those guys on the world stage, see how they behave themselves and everything. So yeah, and we got some good trainings over there as well. So yeah, a big group of us, we were like maybe 25 people in the house, plus some other people who were staying elsewhere as well. So yeah, we had a good time. Obviously not the results we wanted for a couple of them, but still very proud of the whole team, and I'm sure everyone will be back anyway and see who wins the next one.
Dan Hooker told us a story at Media Day that you guys had some celebrity come into the house, and there was a lot of, I guess, guesses around who it might have been. Some of the boys thought it might have been The Rock. Some of the boys thought it might have been other people. Did you ever guess at who that was, and were you disappointed when...
Nah, I don't think so. Not from what I remember. Sometimes it's better to don't try to guess anything so you're not disappointed, you know. And at the end of the day, that was just like a painting or something. Someone, like an artist who just brought a pretty nice painting, but yeah, not what we expected.
You mentioned like going over and being a part of these UFC weeks, you learn a little bit. Like what do you learn as an athlete looking towards that stage for yourself?
For me, the main thing I've learned, now I've been like to Houston as well and to New York, and I've been to quite a few shows, even in London I was then as well. I've just realized it's the exact same thing. It's literally the exact same thing. It's just more medias, more people watching, and yeah, more fans and all of those stuff. But the fight itself doesn't change anything, and so many of those guys are way as good than the guys are here in New Zealand and in Australia. So it literally doesn't change anything. It's the same thing. So that's the main thing I've realized actually.
There's a big card coming to Australia not too far away now, a couple of months. Obviously Eternal are having a fight night beforehand. Are you looking at that Eternal card maybe?
Yeah, let's see what happens. I'm gonna fight James over the weekend. Hopefully it goes as well as I plan. And afterwards, as usual, I'll stay ready. And now that they know that I can fight welterweight, middleweight, or light heavyweight, it just gives me more chance to get a late call out, you know? So who knows? I'll be ready. If they need someone, just call me, I'll be there.
How will that work for you over the next few months if you do get a call and Eternal want you on the card? They say middleweight or welterweight. Like, how long do you need to cut down to welterweight or to prepare for a specific weight if you're going to fight at, say, light heavyweight instead?
Well, even if I fight a light heavyweight like these fights, I'm not trying to gain weight, because eventually I want to go back to welterweight. And right now we are only like 4 days before the weigh-in. I could still make probably 80 kilos if I wanted to, quite comfortably. And probably welterweight if I wanted to make it a bit hard, but I still could. As long as I train, I'm fine. Like I cut weight quite easily. I'm probably lucky for this thing. So yeah, no, like I don't know. Ideally, I would rather fight welterweight because that's what I wanna fight eventually. But if they're coming for middleweight fights, that's good. I just don't need to struggle as much cutting weight, which makes it more enjoyable, you know. No, like when you see me 4 days before a fight, usually when I need to make welterweight, I'm not very great to spend some time with, you know. Don't want to talk that much and love that much because, you know, like it's a bit harder to do. Middleweight, light heavyweight, perfect. I just keep eating whatever I'm eating.
That's a little bit of a brag you threw in there that you lose weight quite easily.
Yeah. I mean, it just I have a fast metabolism, I guess. So yeah, it helps. It does help a lot.
Hopefully that doesn't slow down for you anytime soon.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Hopefully.
For yourself, we mentioned James is a very good striker, very good kickboxer. How do you neutralize that? Or is that going to give away a little bit too much?
No, yeah, as you said, he's good striker. We don't know much about his grappling, and I'm sure he trains with some good guys, and he's good in grappling too. Otherwise, he wouldn't be fighting in MMA. He knows, and I've been grappling most of my life, and I have less striking experience than he probably does. But I still strike quite well now, and I believe I can stand with him. But I can probably take him down too. So yeah, let's see what happens. But we'll see how it goes.
I talked to Adam Cook last week before his fight, and he
Yeah.
said he joined City Kickboxing basically from what he saw from sort of the anti-wrestling training that the guys had shown at UFC level, you know, staying on their feet, learning how to wrestle to prevent wrestlers from having their way with them. For yourself, what brought you to the gym?
Man, it's been interesting because when I moved here 3 years ago now, I've realized I was good on top and taking people down, but on the bottom there was many things I didn't know, defensive wise, how to get up, how to make sure people don't take me down, and like stuff like that, how to get up. And I improved a lot during those past few years in those things, which is a huge area of the sport because realistically, one day I will fight someone who will be able to take me down, who will probably be a better grappler than me, and you're gonna be realistic, you know? And yeah, I think it's just good. I got to improve in some areas and I was not really training in before. And obviously, striking wise is the best place to be as well. And my top control is still as good as it used to be, or if not better, you know? So yeah, I feel pretty comfortable anywhere now.
A little bit more broadly speaking, we were talking off camera about open scoring. For yourself as an athlete, do you favor it one way or the other? Would you like it? Do you not? Or do you like it without open scoring? Like, what are the pros and cons for an athlete in a fight?
Yeah, well, before, if you asked me before my last fight, I would have probably told you, nah, don't need that. But for example, my last fight where I lost a split decision, when I was in the fight myself, I knew I was blocking every shot. None of them were landing, or they were just stopping right in front of my face, but they were not landing. So I was quite confident because I knew that was not landing anyway, and I knew the few times I actually threw my strikes, I landed and I did damage. So in my mind, I was winning, you know? And then eventually, you lose a split decision, and some judges, like I've talked to many guys, and they say, when you hear the noise of the impact of the strikes, most judges don't know if it actually landed on your face or on your gloves. And many judges don't know shit, realistically. So I think it would be good to just know where you are. And yeah, like you know you are winning, you know you are losing. Like every sport is like that anyway before the end of the time. So it wouldn't be a bad thing. You know you are losing, there's one round left, you can be sure and the fight's gonna be exciting until the end, you know? So yeah, I think it would be a good thing.
I mean, we saw what happened when a fighter knows they're losing with one round to go at UFC 281, unfortunately.
Exactly. Well, sometimes it goes all ways, sometimes it doesn't. But yeah, I think it would be a good thing to know before the end. And yeah, I mean, that's a sport you need to be smart and you need to think, and maybe the game plans will change a bit, you know, along the way of how the fight goes.
I guess just lastly, the last Shuriken card of the year, this Saturday night in Auckland. Why should people be getting along or watching the pay-per-view?
Yeah, well, just watch my previous fights. You'll see how exciting they are every time. And this one is definitely going to be a banger. And I'm fighting someone much bigger, which is definitely exciting, something I'm looking forward to. So yeah, make sure you show up, and that's going to be a good fight for sure.